Hello, welcome to Exercise for Beginners, where I teach you how to get started if you've never started before. Today, we are going to go over a pull day. This will be our second day of level 2. So how do we differentiate a pull day from a push day? So push days are typically your chest, your triceps, and your shoulders if you're doing like overhead press and such. A pull day is anytime you're pulling a weight. So think rows, bicep curls. I tend to like to throw in some shoulder exercises as well, but they tend to be like shoulder mechanic exercise. So stuff that's good for the rotator cuff and just assisting you with movements in other days. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do a couple of rows today, a bicep curl and a shoulder exercise. So the first row we are going to start with is a bent over row. You're only going to have one dumbbell for this guy. I have 8 pounds here. Challenge yourself. Your back can probably do a little bit more. 8, 10, 12, 15. So I like a staggered stance. I'll show you this way. I like a staggered stance, nice tall chest. All right, what I see a lot is people will slump down. You can see how rounded my upper back is. So I always think shoulders back or chest up. All right, chest up is usually the cue that gets people in the position I'm looking for. So I tell people when it comes to any type of row, chest up, and it's going to be your elbow back. So chest is up, elbow back. All right, this ensures that you're kind of punching that elbow back through the ceiling or back behind you and keeping it tight towards your side. And you can see from my front view, I'm not flaring way out to the side or anything. The arm is very tight to my side, and I'm rowing that dumbbell towards my pocket or towards my hip. All right, that's your first one. That is a dumbbell row. All right, next, you're going to grab your second dumbbell. We're going to be doing a dumbbell fly. So where the row kind of targets your lats and more mid-back, the fly is going to be more upper back. So same hinged type of position. So you're going to hinge forward like so. And again, we want a tall chest, not a slump. Tall chest, no slump. Just reminded me of that Princess Diaries scene with Julie Andrews. And she's like, we don't slump like this. And she's right, tall chest. All right, and then we're gonna keep a soft elbow, so not locked out, so a little bit soft, so a little bit of a bend to it. You're gonna fly out to the side. So for this one, you might need a slightly lighter weight. What I'm looking for here is for a lot of movement in your shoulder blades. So if the weight is too heavy, you're not going to be able to squeeze your shoulder blades enough. You really want to be able to push them together in the center. That's going to ensure you're working in between in your upper back. Okay, what a lot of people have an issue with is they just don't have a lot of strength in their upper back. So it's an upper back exercise, but it's also a shoulder mechanic exercise. It is a dual purpose. And the more you can move your shoulder blades, the better functioning you'll get out of your shoulder itself. So it's a 2-for-1 on that guy. All right, next we are going to move on to our bicep curl. So for a curl, just because it's an arm exercise doesn't mean your core is not involved. So you still want a solid athletic stance. So think hip distance, hip width. You want to squeeze your glutes and use your core. As the dumbbells or whatever weight you're using starts to get heavier, you want a strong base here to keep you stable as you're curling these weights. So your palms are going to be forward here. It should come straight up. And this one's very straightforward, no guessing. Just a nice, steady pace. You don't need to fly through the reps here. All right. So from here, we'll put one weight down. We're going to get down on the ground we're gonna do an external rotation for your shoulder. So for that, you're gonna lie on your side. You will probably need a lighter weight for this one. So think 5 pounds, maybe 3. It really just depends. It's gonna target the back of your arm here. Hello. And that tends to be weaker on a lot of people, especially if you're a desk worker. All right, so we want that upper arm pinned to your side, and you're going to be rotating all the way up and all the way back down. You want that rotation to come from back here. So all the way up and all the way down. So I have a lot of range, but I've worked on it. So be patient with yourself. So you're going to be here, rotate up and back down. All the way up and back down. You can see my arm pretty much stays flush with my side. A good cue that I find helps a lot of people is squeezing the ring and pinky fingers a little bit harder. That is because that is going to connect to the back of your arm more. So you just think about general anatomy. Ring and pinky fingers kind of track up the outside into the back of the arm. The first 3 fingers track towards the front of the arm into more of your pec. So it's just for sake of cueing and kind of putting more emphasis on certain areas of your arm. So the last one we're going to do is a lat pullover. So for this guy, I'm going to have you lie on the ground. It'll be nice and flat. You love laying on the ground. You're going to take your weight. You're going to lift it up overhead. You can hold it from the ends like so. This one you probably can do a little bit more. Think 12 to 15 pounds. Straight arms, you're going to reach, 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 and come all the way back up. Reach and up. So you should get a nice stretch in that shoulder. If you're a little tight, you might even get a little bit of core activation. If you really wanted to activate the core a little bit more, just bring the legs up like so. And then it becomes a nice multi-purpose exercise. You have a little back and a little core. And that is your lat pullover. That is all for today. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Exercise for Beginners. I do my best to post regularly. I do have a lot of new things going on in my life right now, so be patient and I will post when I can. Thank you so much. If you enjoy this content, tell your family, tell your friends, subscribe to my channel. I got tons of great information to share. Always reach out with any questions. Thank you. Have a nice day.